Hey, y'all, let's talk about one of the advantages I have of being a female chaplain. Because, yes, we actually have many advantages. I recently saw a post in a Facebook group about patients requesting male chaplains instead of the female chaplains. And naturally, people were upset. They were calling it sexist, patriarchal, unfair, all of those things. And it may be sexist. Patriarchy may absolutely be at work. But here's my possibly unpopular opinion. Patients have the right to decide who they want providing their spiritual care. And there may be patients who don't want me because I'm a woman, right? There may be patients who don't want me because I'm Black. There may be some who especially don't want a Black woman walking into their home as their chaplain. Is that wrong? Unequivocally, absolutely, yes. But do I want to force myself into somebody's home so that they can be uncomfortable, mistreat me, or in a worst case scenario, possibly even put my own safety at risk? Absolutely not. So please, sir, ma'am, tell me ahead of time that you don't want me. I'll bless you from the parking lot and keep it moving. And, I was also thinking sometimes it's not even about somebody consciously thinking women are inferior. Some people were just simply raised in religious traditions where pastors, priests and their spiritual leaders were always men. And that is what feels familiar to them. It feels comfortable. So I try not to take that personally. And I would encourage other female chaplains and clergy to try not to take it personally either. I know it's hard, but try not to. Because at the end of the day, the goal is that we really want the patient to receive quality, good spiritual care. And if my presence is going to prevent them from opening up, I personally don't mind stepping back and allowing a male colleague to care for them. Now, at my previous hospice job that I had, that was possible because we had 7 or 8 chaplains and our territories overlapped enough to accommodate those types of requests. However, my current hospice is only me and one other chaplain, and he is a male, but our territories are completely separate. So if someone in my territory were to insist on having a male chaplain, they simply gonna have to decline spiritual care. Which is unfortunate, but here we sit, here we are. It's your choice. And you and I, we could spend all day talking about how unfair it is that male chaplains are sometimes treated as more legitimate or more of a spiritual authority than a woman might be. But guess what? As females, we have advantages too. And one of those advantages, especially in my hospice position, is I get to show affection freely to my female patients. My patients who live in SNFs, live in long-term care facilities, memory care, most of the time, the only touch they're really receiving is connected to somebody who is providing a task, whether that's checking their blood pressure, changing their clothes, bathing them, administering medication, repositioning them in bed. They don't receive a lot of non-medical touch. So when I hold a patient's hand or I hug her or kiss her on the forehead or the back of her hand, that affection can nurture her spirit in a way that sometimes words just can't. And that is a part of my care practice. And I know that my patients benefit from it. Before some of y'all start jumping into my comments talking about boundaries, go argue with your auntie. Well, I would never kiss a patient. Oh my gosh, I don't like hugs. That's fine. God bless you. Then don't do it. I am not here to host the great chaplain touch debate of 2026. Because I'm going to keep using appropriate, welcomed touch with my patients. Because I've seen what it means to them. Now, my male counterparts can certainly offer appropriate therapeutic touch as well. But let's be honest. They often have to be much more guarded, especially with a female patient. A hug, a kiss on the forehead, or holding somebody in a side hug, it could just be interpreted very differently when it comes from a man. And as a woman, I'm often given access to a level of tenderness that my male colleagues may not be able to offer as freely or receive as freely, right? I also see the same thing in the hospital, because you guys know I work PRN in a hospital. One of the service lines that I cover is mother and baby. I can knock on that door, introduce myself, and the mother is like, oh, come on in. Even if she breastfeeding, breasts everywhere, right? Or she coming out the bathroom, her gown hanging half off. They don't care, because she understands that I'm another woman. And my presence doesn't automatically feel intrusive to her. I've had a meaningful conversation with a mother who was getting her baby to latch, right? My male colleagues may knock on that same door, and that patient hears a man's voice and immediately like, who are you and what do you need? And matter of fact, go away. Maybe they invite you back later, but most of the times they feel nervous. It's like, oh my goodness. But hey, what can you do? That's not a judgment against the male chaplain. That woman just feels vulnerable in that moment, and she may not want a man that's around her that's not her partner or someone in her family. So I get to do that with no issues. So while patriarchy is real, yes, we know sexism is real. And we also know as female chaplains that sometimes, I don't want to say often, that we aren't afforded the same respect. But don't get so focused on that you miss the doors that are specifically open to you because you're a woman. We can enter vulnerable spaces differently. We can offer tenderness differently. And sometimes patients will trust us with parts of themselves that they might never reveal to a man. So I don't want you to feel like your care is different or not as good, but it is different. And appreciate those differences and the access that you have. So don't take it personally if somebody wants to see a male chaplain, because that's what's meaningful to them. Let them have that. And then you keep showing up for the people that God has put in your path for you to be their chaplain, to provide the care that only you can provide. And I got to tell you, I have a lot of male chaplains, a lot of male patients who love to see me coming. So it's such a minority that even happens in our work. Don't let that get you bent out of shape, friend. Keep showing up, keep serving, keep being your wonderful self. And the patients that you were meant to impact, that door will be open. All right. If you're new around here, my name is Leslie. I'm creating the videos that I wish existed when I first started on this road to becoming a chaplain. Like, follow, comment. I respond to all my comments, guys. All my comments. And until next time, grace and peace.